Hello, everyone. It's already the end of March. I cannot believe it's March 31st. But I saw the Book of the Month books are out, so let's get into them. So it does look like there are 6 books to choose from. The first is a mystery by Sally Hepworth called Mad Mabel. This is a repeat author. I'd have to see. I'm not sure if I recognize her name, but it's also an early release. On the cover, it says sanity is subjective, which I do like that a lot. Over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house we go. Just don't ask about the murder allegations. So it's kind of retelling, too. Um, LGBTQ plus themes, nonlinear timeline, graphic violence, and murder. Let's see. Elsie Mabel Fitzpatrick is 81 years old. She's lived on her idyllic street, Kinney Lane, for 60 years, longer than anyone else. Aside from being a curmudgeon who minds everyone else's business, few would suspect that Elsie has a past that she has worked exceedingly hard at concealing. Because when it comes to murder, no one ever suspects little girls or old ladies. And Elsie Mabel Fitzpatrick, once a little girl and now an old lady, has a strange history of people in her life coming to a foul end. When a new little girl, talkative, curious, nosy, moves into the neighborhood and stops at nothing to befriend Elsie, her carefully constructed life threatens to come crashing down as the secrets in Elsie's past start coming to light. Who was Mad Mabel 50 years ago? Who is Elsie Fitzpatrick today? And if the past has a habit of repeating itself, who has the most to lose? Well, so she's 81 and she's been living there for 60 years. So she moved in when she was 21. So she wasn't a little girl. And it also says 50 years ago. She was Mad Mabel 50 years ago. So she was 31 when she killed someone, I guess. But it says no one ever suspects little girls. Like, she wasn't a little girl. But I don't know. Sounds interesting. This book does contain mentions of suicide and sexual assault. Other ones from her is Darling Girls. I never read them. It said 3P author, though, so they must be out of the other book of hers. I don't know what her other book was. But that's the first choice. Then there's Annie Knows Everything by Rachel Wood. It is a debut and a romance. I love that cover. That looks really nice. What does it say? She has all the answers except when it comes to her own heart. In this delightfully charming workplace rom-com, a charismatic go-getter has much to learn about falling in love. I don't really like workplace rom-coms though, but let's see what it's about. It's a fast read, that's good. Tech world, salacious, and New York City. I feel like it's always New York City. Why not Chicago? After getting fired from her dream job at a tech company in New York City on the same day as she learns that her sister is engaged to the worst man alive, again, Annie refuses to let this bad day get worse. When she sees an open position on her company's data strategy team, she's determined to get it. So what if she's never coded? How hard can it be? Oh my gosh. Okay, that's interesting logic. Connor, the interim department head, is unconvinced, but Annie capitalizes on her insider knowledge that Connor's team of jolly nerds lacks a socially capable person and makes it her mission to convince him that she's the perfect fit. She'll just have to ignore the fact that he's an unfortunate combination of exceedingly aggravating and distractingly hot. Oh, so she's falling for her, like, boss? If that wasn't tricky enough, Annie also has to attend her sister's second engagement party, an engagement Annie ruined the first time, and her sister has not forgotten. Oh my gosh, this sounds so messy. Oh man. So Annie must try to succeed in a job she has no business doing, navigate the budding tension with her new boss, and save her sister before she makes the worst decision a person can make. Annie's not worried though. If there's one thing she knows how to do, it's getting involved in the lives of others. But what if, this time, her efforts to help destroy everything she treasures most? I don't know if no content warnings, but I don't know. I think I would read it, but I'm not sure I would want to buy it right now. but she does sound like a mess, getting into everyone else's business. I don't know. Next option is Porcupines by Fran Fabrizi. It's a debut, a literary fiction. I like the cover on this too. Fresh, frank, and funny, this debut is a slice of life exploration of family, faith, and following your dreams. Has multiple viewpoints, nonlinear timeline, family drama, and quirky. Sonia is a Hungarian immigrant who is raising her daughter Mila, her beloved Milosh, on her own in sunny Los Angeles. Her days are a blur of not quite illegal business activities, dodging PTA moms, and baking birthday cakes laced with rum. Minor mistakes that nevertheless continually remind her of everything she doesn't understand about America and parenthood. Oh my gosh, that's funny. Mila, meanwhile, is juggling violin and swimming lessons and navigating the treacherous social politics of school with the help of a less than helpful guidebook on how to be cool in the 6th grade. Doesn't really exist. All the while trying to get her secretive mother to share something, anything, about her past. Sonia is sure that their bond, stitched from drive-through diners, extracurricular activities, and a lot of exasperated affection for each other, will be enough to satisfy her daughter. But her guarded lifestyle has left Mila lonely, isolated, and ready to write herself into a bigger story. When she stumbles across emails between her mother and a man she's never met, Mila decides to take matters into her own hands and forms a plan that will implode their carefully constructed lives. Ooh. Moving between Budapest before the fall of the Berlin Wall, Washington, D.C. in the tense years of the Cold War, and the bright sunshine of early aughts Los Angeles, Porcupines is an irresistible novel about mothers and daughters, secrecy and loneliness, belonging and reinvention, and what happens when the truth can't be held back any longer. That sounds really good. I don't always like when it's over such a long time period, though, for the books, but that sounds really good. Next is Molka by Monica Kim, early release, and it's a horror. I don't think I like the cover as much. What does it say on the cover? It has a taste for voyeurism. She has a thing for revenge. I think that's what it says. I'm not sure. I think so. This unnerving social horror pushes the dangerous world of spy cams to its limits. Smile, you're on hidden camera. It's gruesome. Oh my gosh. Ew. Okay, I see. That is a camera in there. Ugh. This does come out April 28th, so you'd get it early if you got it through Book of the Month. Has multiple viewpoints, creepy social issues, and graphic violence. Molka, an abbreviation of Molre camera, a sneaky camera hidden to capture covert images and videos for voyeurs. Ooh. In an unassuming Seoul workplace, IT technician Jun Young's network reaches throughout the entire building. He sees every entrance, every lobby, every bathroom. The women in this building may be cold and dismissive, but he can always pull up his favorite images of them and remember who holds the real power. Oh my god, this is gonna make me feel so sick. Until one, Dai sets herself apart from the rest. Dai, I don't know Korean, just to preface, but Dai, ever the romantic, yearns to be cherished after years of living in the shadow of her perfect older sister, who tragically drowned years ago. Only her boyfriend seems to appreciate Dai. He's rich, handsome, and generous, and she'd do anything to hold onto the happiness he brings her. But when a hidden camera scandal rocks the city's elites, Dai's dreams of a fairy tale romance twist into a grotesque nightmare. Her boyfriend abandons her. Her parents reject her. Her grip on reality begins to shatter as visions of her dead sister suddenly appear. And as Junyun's interest in Dae turns to obsession and the truths of their troubled lives are revealed, Dae must go to extreme lengths to bring the truth to light. This book does contain scenes depicting sexual assault. Ugh. I don't know. This is like a little too real. reality, I guess, too much. Like, this happens and I don't like it. And I don't think I could handle reading that right now. Next option is fantasy, Bloodbound by Ellis Hunter, and can get it with the sprayed edges if you want to pay extra. That is pretty. It says you duel or you die. Was it a griffin on the cover too? And a dragon scorpion or something? Okay. An epic romantasy with dragons, witches, and a duel to the death. To save their kingdoms, two heroes will risk it all. This also comes out the 28th. It's 400 plus pages, salacious, first in the series, and romantasy. I wonder how long this series is supposed to be. You duel or you die. Astrid has always known she is destined to die. She is the last Nocturne witch and heir to the kingdom of Arturia. Cursed by a centuries-old covenant to duel the heir to the kingdom of Vatra for the source of all magic, the heart. And now Astrid's time is up. She is heading into enemy territory to face Prince Zryan, the most powerful dragon rider in eons, with only her familiar, her potions, and her wits to aid her. She is going to die, and any chance her queendom has of curing the blight that's ravaging the lands and killing her people will die with her. Meanwhile, deep in Dragon Country, Skylar and her traveling troupe arrive in Vatra's capital, ready to profit off the legions of spectators swarming to the city ahead of the duel. She despises the royals and all they stand for, especially as the king's guard murdered her mother. When her best friend disappears, suspected to have been taken in the conscription, her search takes her closer to the royals than she ever could have imagined. As the duel looms over the kingdom, Skylar and Astrid's fates intertwine. They must battle a growing rebellion, their inner demons, and ultimately those they love most, to determine if together they will save or doom their world. Ooh. That sounds fun. No content warnings. I'm gonna look up how many books for this. Okay, so it looks like it's going to be a trilogy, and it's called the Cursed Covenant series. And also, from the way the description is, I thought maybe, what does say female friendship? I didn't read that part. I thought maybe it was a love story between Skylar and Astrid, but no. I think it's Astrid and Prince Ryan and female friendship, so that's fun. I don't know if I want to get it since it's like the first in a series, but I might read it though. Last choice is Yesteryear by Caro Claire Burke. It's a debut in contemporary fiction. I like the cover on that too, where it's kind of like bending reality. A picture-perfect trad wife wakes up to a reality that looks nothing like her curated feed. Home Sweet Homestead? Psychological, unlikable narrator, nonlinear timeline, and mama drama. My name was Natalie Heller Mills, and I was perfect at being alive. That's a little strange. Natalie lives a traditional lifestyle. Her charming farmhouse is rustic, her husband a handsome cowboy, her 6 children each more delightful than the last. So what if there are nannies and producers behind the scenes, her kitchen hiding industrial-grade fridges and ovens, her husband the heir to a political dynasty? What Natalie's followers, all 8 million of them, don't know won't hurt them. And the angry women, the privileged Ivy League coastal elite haters who call her an anti-feminist iconoclast, they're sick with jealousy. Because Natalie isn't simply living the good life, she's living the ideal, and just so happens to be building an empire from it. Until one morning she wakes up in a life that isn't hers. Her home, her husband, her children, they're all familiar, but something's off. Her kitchen is warmed by sputtering fire rather than electricity, her children are dirty and strange, and her soft-handed husband is suddenly a competent farmer. Just yesterday, Natalie was curating photos of homemade jam for Instagram, and now she's expected to haul firewood and hand-wash clothes until her fingers bleed. Oh my gosh. Has she become the unwitting star of a ruthless reality show? Could it really be time travel? Is she being tested by God? By Satan? When Natalie suffers a brutal injury in the woods, she realizes two things. This is not her beautiful life, and she must escape by any means possible. That's really interesting. It does have content, scenes depicting domestic abuse. Content warning. I don't know, that seems really interesting that she kind of goes back in time and, like, here's what a traditional housewife had to do. That seems really fun. I don't know if I'll get it though, but it sounds like an interesting concept. So those are all the main picks. I'm not really feeling any of them, honestly. Oh, there's also the Offset and the Centennial Edition. Offset is What Am I, a Deer? By Polly Barton. Full tilt. Okay, what does that mean? Deviation indicates how far this title strays from the mainstream. This is full tilt from the mainstream. This book made us want to fall in love with a stranger, go to karaoke, and scream sing Purple Rain, or throw ourselves out of a window. The performance of being a person is humiliating, but nonchalance is the thief of joy. Quite a dilemma. Read if you seek stream of consciousness prose about a maladaptive daydreamer with a big vocab and a bad crush. Okay. That sounds like a journey. What does it mean to lose yourself, and is that something you should be aiming for? A young woman with little interest in games takes up a job in Frankfurt at a famous gaming company, naively set on reinvention. On her morning commute, in the familiar clutches of tedium and self-loathing, she encounters a nice-eyed stranger who returns her forgotten umbrella and finds herself catapulted in a dizzying, year-long whirlwind of obsession. Not just with this endlessly attractive specter, but also with the feverish karaoke trips from which she draws the ultimate solace. With astonishing existential acuity, Polly Barton's formidable debut novel renders the paradoxes of modern life and all its complexities in deliriously self-conscious prose that is at once propulsive, titillating, and bitingly funny. Echoing with the sounds of Whitney Houston and The Cure, reaching for the sublime in dark, sweaty boxes. What Am I, a Deer? Is an exhilarating exploration of authenticity, fantasy, romance, and intoxication. Honestly, I might get that. These are the other offsets. Oh yeah, The Natural Way of Things. I did not get that. I did like Discontent a lot, and The Sun Was Electric Light. I loved that too. I did not read Andromeda. I might get this, but this can't be a main pick, I think, right? And then the Centennial Edition, 1940 selection, Native Son by Richard Wright. Okay. I'll have to look at that more, but I don't know. Where are the new add-ons? Oh, early release. Is that an add-on? Okay. Okay, I had to go back to my last video to see what's new. So it looks like from the Book Witch on is new. So that's like 8 new books. There's a lot of new books now. So first add-on option is The Book Witch by Meg Schaefer, fantasy. I haven't heard of this. When her grandfather goes missing, a witch with the power to jump into stories teams up with a dashing fictional duke. Romance, action-packed, light read, and book about books. Rainy March is a proud third-generation book witch, sworn to defend works of fiction from all foes, real and imaginary. With her magical umbrella and feline familiar, she jumps in and out of novels to fix malicious alterations and rogue heroes like a modern-day magical Nancy Drew. That sounds really fun. Book witches live by a strict code. Real people belong in the real world. Fictional characters belong in works of fiction. Do not eat, drink, or sleep inside a fictional world lest you become part of the story. Falling in love with a fictional character? Don't even think about it. Which is why Rainey has been forbidden from seeing the Duke of Chicago, the dashing British detective who stars in her favorite mystery series. If she's ever caught with him again, she'll be expelled from her book coven, and forced to give up the magical gifts that are as much a part of her as her own name. But when her beloved grandfather disappears and a priceless book is stolen, there's only one person she trusts to help her solve the case, the Duke. Their quest takes them through the worlds of Alice in Wonderland, King Arthur, and other classics that will reveal hidden enemies and long-buried family secrets. I don't know, that sounds really fun. Oh, the wishing game. That's why her name is familiar. That sounds really fun. I might have to wait, though, to get it. Used to be able to flag them. Because I'm not sure I'll get an April book, but I might add on the Book Witch later. Next is The Paris Match by Kate Claiborne, romance. What does it say on the cover? City of Light, City of Love, I think is what it says. Paris is for lovers until you accidentally break up your ex-sister-in-law's wedding. C'est la vie? C'est la yikes. Oh my gosh, that's funny. 400 plus pages, that's pretty long. Salacious, multiple viewpoints, friends to lovers. I don't always like friends to lovers, but let's see. Physician Layla Bailey has spent over a year telling herself she's moved on from a painful but amicable divorce from her college sweetheart. Staying friends with her ex seemed like the mature thing to do, but when Layla is invited to her former sister-in-law's destination wedding in Paris, where Layla once spent her own romantic honeymoon, she knows her commitment to maturity might be her worst enemy, especially since her ex isn't attending alone. That's hard. I wouldn't go. Just because you're invited and you're friendly doesn't mean you need to go to their wedding, especially if it's a destination wedding. The only thing that could make the week more difficult is getting through it without the distraction of the wedding. But when what Layla thought was a harmless conversation about the choices of her younger self leads to the bride getting cold feet, oh no, Layla finds herself facing down the groom's mysterious, taciturn best man, Griffin, who will do anything to make sure this wedding happens. Since she broke it, Griff demands she help him fix it. Going along with his plan to alleviate the engaged couple's doubts seems like Layla's best chance at maintaining a good relationship with a family she once called her own. But as she learns more about the past heartbreak that's driving Griff to help his friend, she gets closer and closer to confronting the true depth of her own pain, while finding herself more and more willing to risk it all again for Griff. Griff. She also wrote Georgie All Along from Book of the Month. I did not read that. I don't know, that sounds pretty good. I might read that, but not from Book of the Month. Last Night in Brooklyn, early release. I do not know how to say that. Seems like Xochitl Gonzalez. Sorry if I did not pronounce that right. I'm not sure, but early release. Welcome to 2000s Brooklyn. Dreams are big, apartments are small, and one chic neighbor can show you a whole new world. This also comes out the 21st, so you get early. Female Friendships and Fidelity, New York City in 2000s. It's always New York City. Can it be another place? Or Paris, I guess. Spring 2007. At 26, Alicia Canales Fortin feels smothered by her future. She's in a long-distance relationship, living at home with her mother's beliefs, saving up for a wedding to a future doctor. But after Alicia ventures out one night in the neighborhood of Fort Greene, Brooklyn, she finds herself lured by the siren song of youth and possibility the striving crowd of creatives holds and moves in. No one embodies this more than La Garza, a larger-than-life, up-and-coming fashion designer whose epic house parties fuel neighborhood lore. La Garza's life, observed by Alicia from her apartment across the street, seems to hold the allure and fearlessness Alicia has never dared to imagine for herself. But when Alicia's wealthy banker cousin moves to the neighborhood, she finds herself increasingly drawn into both his and La Garza's precarious lives. Against the backdrop of a potentially life-changing presidential election and a looming once-in-a-generation fiscal crisis, Last Night in Brooklyn explores the dark compromise of the American dream for people of color living unknowingly in the twilight of a cultural moment. It is a story about everything money can buy and the destruction of what it can't. Oh, she wrote Anita de Monte Laughs Last. I never read that either. Never heard of Olga Dies Dreaming. I don't know, that sounds interesting, but I'm not sure I'd read it. Nothing Tastes as Good by Luke Dumas. Thriller. I don't really like the cover that much. A miracle weight loss cure transforms a lonely man as missing time, monstrous cravings, and bodies pile up. Ooh, it's gruesome. LGBTQ plus themes, salacious, nonlinear timeline, and unsettling. Yeah, it sounds unsettling. I don't think I'll get this, but okay. Retail worker Emmett Truesdale has never fit the Southern California mold of six-pack suntan masculinity. Over 300 pounds, he carries the weight of his childhood trauma and millennial ennui about his waist and in his soul. After trying every diet under the sun, he remains stuck in his dead-end job, in love, and in his body. Desperate for help, he enrolls in a clinical trial for a new weight loss product called Obexity. The treatment is as horrifying as the results are miraculous, and as Emmett sheds pounds at superhuman speed, every part of his life improves overnight. That's not good to lose so fast like that. Unfortunately, Obexity comes with some killer side effects, including lost stretches of time and overwhelming cravings. Worse, people who were cruel to him have started disappearing, and when the police warn of a cannibalistic killer on the loose, he fears that Obexity is turning him into a monster. But how can he give it up now that people are finally starting to treat him like he's human? Oh my gosh. Yeah, the paradox. This book does have content warnings, depicts child abuse, and mentions of eating disorders. I don't know, is he actually eating them? Or, I mean, he wouldn't really know if he's losing time, so maybe it's just a coincidence? I don't know. That sounds good, but not something I want to read necessarily for spring. Next option is A Good Person by Kirsten King, literary fiction and debut. I love this cover too. Oh my god. These are such good covers. X's and hexes go off the rails in the shocking, darkly funny novel about how to get over a messy breakup. LGBTQ plus themes, unlikable narrator, unreliable narrator, and salacious. How are you gonna have unreliable and unlikable? Last time I read unlikable narrator was Best Offer Wins, and I really didn't like her, so I'm not sure about this. An electric binge of a debut about a millennial anti-hero who seeks revenge on her ex-situationship with a hex, only for him to actually literally die. Oh my god. Lillian and Henry have been enjoying each other's company, particularly in bed. Even though Lillian's best and only friend calls it a situationship, Lillian knows better. And she has a plan to lock Henry down. Okay. She'll be the best, most accommodating version of herself until he falls in love with her. And then she'll be not that anymore once they get together. Like, I don't know. But when Henry blindsides Lillian with a breakup instead of a love declaration, Lillian is left with no choice but to exact revenge with a hex. You could have not done that, but Lillian expects Henry to grovel and come crawling back to her. What she doesn't anticipate is becoming a prime suspect in his murder case when he's found dead. Desperate to control the narrative, clear her name, and assume her rightful place as Henry's mourning girlfriend, Lillian's pursuit of the truth will throw her into a dangerous tailspin, which may just upend her life for good. That's insane. I would read this. It does have scenes depicting sexual assault. A Good Person. I don't know, I'm interested in that, but I'm probably not gonna get that right now. Next is Into the Blue by Emma Brody, contemporary fiction. I thought it would be sci-fi. It does say a love story, too. Improv, Shakespeare, and sci-fi blend in this sweeping romance about two actors who can't stop falling in love. Yeah, the cover definitely seems sci-fi. 400 plus pages, family drama, multiple viewpoints, and extra spicy. Oh. A love that should never have happened, and a story you'll never forget. In the summer of 2000, AJ Graves dreams of writing for Saturday Night Live. Instead, she's stuck working in a video rental store with slim odds of escaping her small Massachusetts town. Then in walks Noah Drew, the enigmatic and intense scion of the Drew acting dynasty, and her life changes forever. Despite wildly different upbringings, the two forge a deep cosmic bond, first as friends, then as acting partners, until one day Noah disappears without a word. 7 years later, in New York City, of course, AJ is shocked to find herself cast in the same intergalactic TV production as Noah, by then a well-known Hollywood heartthrob. As their on-screen characters grow closer every day, the lines between reality and acting begin to blur. Unable to stay away from each other, AJ and Noah are forced to confront the truth of what happened years ago, and the devastating secret that will send their lives careening apart, even as fate continues to draw them together. Blending unforgettable characters, explosive chemistry and yearning, and profound emotion, Into the Blue is a journey unlike any other. One that asks, what does it mean to diverge from the script to forge your own story? So, not really sci-fi, just a sci-fi story in the story. It's really, it did say contemporary fiction. Oh, it does contain mentions of suicidal ideation. A little surprised by that. Yeah, I wish it was more sci-fi, but it does say contemporary fiction is the main thing, which is true. And it also says a love story. So I guess it blends those a little bit, but next is The Ending Writes Itself by Evelyn Clark, which is a mystery. I have heard of this. Ghostwriting turns deadly when authors compete to finish a best-selling series. Writer's block meet chopping block. Multiple viewpoints, whodunit, movie-ish, and writer's life. Arthur Fletch, one of the world's best-selling novelists, is a reclusive genius known for his iconic protagonists and fiendish twists. When six struggling authors are invited to spend a weekend on his private Scottish island, they arrive to discover a shocking secret. Arthur Fletch is dead, and his last book is unfinished. Desperate to publish the novel, Fletch's agent and editor have summoned these writers in the hope that one of them will imagine a worthy ending for this final book. To sweeten the deal, they are offered an irresistible prize. In addition to ghostwriting the last chapter for a mind-boggling sum, they will also help the lucky writer successfully relaunch their own career, guaranteeing future bestsellers. The catch, the writers have just 72 hours to finish Fletch's magnum opus. It's the perfect plot. All it needs is a killer ending. Oh my god. No content warnings. The ending, that would be really hard to write the ending. Because it has to have a twist, right? And it probably hasn't been revealed. You'd have to read the whole thing and try to piece together the pieces to make it make sense. And they don't even really know his works, probably, or something. That would be hard. And only 72 hours. I don't know. I was very familiar with this title, but I'm not sure I was familiar with that. But last add-on option is a fantasy. I love the cover here too. This Kingdom Will Not Kill Me by Alana Andrews. I don't know, I really like the cover. She knows every twist of this world. Now she's trapped inside it. Can her knowledge of series lore help save the day? 400 plus pages, first in the series. Okay, slow build and book about books. When Maggie wakes up cold, filthy, and naked in a gutter, it doesn't take her long to recognize Caer Torin, a city she knows intimately from the pages of the famously unfinished dark fantasy series she's been obsessively reading and rereading while waiting years for the final novel. Her only tools for navigating this gritty world of rival warlords, magic, and mayhem? Her encyclopedic knowledge of the plot, the setting, and the characters' ambitions and fates. Oh my gosh, I love this. But while she quickly discovers she cannot be killed, though many will try, the same cannot be said for the living, breathing characters she's coming to love. A motley band that includes a former lady's maid, a deadly assassin, various outrageous magical creatures, and a dangerously appealing soldier. Soon, instead of trying to get home, she finds herself enmeshed in the schemes and attentions of dueling princes, dukes, and villains, all while trying to save them and the kingdom of Relis from the way she knows their stories will end in a cataclysmic war. I love this. I love dropping someone in who knows the story and like piecing it together with these characters. There is content warnings. It contains child abuse and mentions of sexual assault. First in the series, let me look this one. So it looks like it's gonna be a trilogy, and it's called Maggie the Undying series, which I love that too. I'm gonna have to add that to get later, I think. I think that and the Book Witch sounded really interesting to get later. As far as the book of the month, like the main selections, I don't know. None of these are really calling to me, so I think I might skip this month so then I can get like more in a later month because I already have so many books to read as well. But I think that'll do it for this video. I don't know, I think my screen just glitched for a second. But that's it for this video. Be sure to like this video and subscribe for more Book of the Month and other book-related videos. I am aiming to make 2 to 4 videos a month beyond the Book of the Month post, so subscribe to stay in the loop for that. And most of my book content is on the blog, notesfromtheshelf.com. So head on over there for, book reviews, recommendations, reading challenges, author interviews, all of the bookish things. So be sure to subscribe there to stay up to date. Anyway, I hope everyone has an amazing April, and until next time, happy reading!